Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Some of you guys might have seen the latest news in regards to Manchester United's new stadium plans that's circulating around. I mean, from the outside, it looks a little bit like a circus, but when you do see the videos, when you do see other pictures in and around the proposed new stadium, it looks like a spectacularly amazing stadium that they're proposing to make. Now, this has sparked a debate, a conversation within the Chelsea community that where is our stadium? Where the new owners, like I know they've been here for 3 years. I mean, can we still say new owners to them? Where is our stadium that they've promised when they initially took over Chelsea Football Club? Because that was one of the biggest objectives for them taking over Chelsea. Now, before we get into the conversation of where the new stadium and what is the update on that, what are the obstacles, where is it going, let's have a quick look at some of these news in regards to the Man United stadium proposal. By the way, do check out this interview. Sir Jim Ratcliffe does this interview with Gary Neville on the overlap. Some mad stuff being said by Ineos owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe. They are the minor shareholders of Man United, but they control the footballing side of things. Some parts I understand what he has said because, look, financially, finance is a huge factor. Finance is a huge factor. I can't deny it. How you go about it is the big conversation. Some of the things that Man United have done and some of the things that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said in this interview, I found it absurd. I actually found it quite bemusing. Do give it a watch. It is an interesting fact. I would love to see Todd Bowley and Iqbali do something like that for Chelsea Football Club. But the overlap, it's absolutely spectacular. The video of this new stadium, go and check this out. Ben Jacobs basically summarizes the whole piece. Breaking: Manchester United confirmed plans for a new 100,000-seater stadium. Sir Jim Ratcliffe promises the world's greatest stadium, designed by Foster and Partners, could be built in 5 years. Estimated cost of $2 billion. Photos and videos below, so do check that out. Now, why is it important? Why is it important, ladies and gentlemen, to get a new stadium? Look, if you don't build a new stadium, you're just going to fall behind in your rivals. In this new day and age where profitability, the sustainable rules, PSR, making more revenue is very, very important. And this is why we're trying to find other revenue streams by doing what we're doing in the transfer market, finding all of these opportunities with young players, and hoping that we can turn them into a much higher value and then flip them for profit. Look, as much as we hate it as a fan base, because we want to see what the first team can do, can it compete? Because from a fan's perspective, what do we care? We care about silverware. We care about winning trophies. But yes, as I said, there is a huge element of the financial fair play. You know, the to be sustainable and meet the rules and regulations of the Premier League. So how is that possible? The only way it's possible is you have to increase your revenue. The more revenue you have, the more you can play around with transfers, wage budget, this, that, the other. Or else, honestly, you're going to be left behind. 100,000 seats is what Man United are proposing. And they're currently sitting at 74,000 seat capacity at Old Trafford. And even that is not being enough when we have a 40,000 seat capacity, which is one of the most, I mean, it's far behind all of the London rivals, but it's one of the probably the most mediocre level in terms of seat capacity in the entire Premier League. So it's somewhere like the 11th or the 12th highest seating capacity. A club of Chelsea's stature, and if we want Chelsea to propel back to the top, we need a bigger stadium. So continuing on with this, Manchester United's new 100,000-seater stadium will be located on the land to the southwest behind Old Trafford. Foster plus Partners design has 3 towers inspired by the Red Devils' trident, and a massive plaza. It will be the biggest stadium in Britain. A lot of people are saying, the first picture, as you can see, it's sort of like a net look. It looks like a circus, kind of resembles the situation that's happening at Man United right now. But look at internally, and then look at the video as well. A lot of these things Ben Jacobs have pointed out. It will increase many factors. Manchester United estimate the stadium and wider regeneration project has the potential to deliver 7.3 billion per year to UK economy and create 92,000 new jobs, more than 17,000 new homes, as well as driving an additional 1.8 million visitors annually. So there's a lot of factors. Building this new site, which apparently is just behind Old Trafford, it's going to create more homes. It's not just a stadium redevelopment. It's more a redevelopment of that entire area. Pretty much, I suppose you can say it's sort of like a village. So yeah, you're going to create new homes. You're going to create, 92,000 new jobs and 1.8 million new visitors. So it's all fantastic. It's all fantastic. Now, let's have a look at why in the Chelsea community this has sparked a conversation. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Current Premier League stadium standings, Man United at 74,000 is the highest one. And this is why, one of the reasons, Man United are one of the richest clubs in terms of revenue making. Right now, we've heard from Sir Jim Ratcliffe that Man United financially are in trouble because of all the other problems that they've created on their own. Poor recruitment, the poor performances and rising costs, the wages and all the other staff that they had. And this is why they're chopping all of those staff, because they just can't keep up with all the costs. The revenue is not cutting or looking after all the costs, even with a 74,000 seating capacity, which is the highest in the Premier League. Tottenham with 62,000. West Ham have a bigger stadium than Chelsea Football Club at 62.5. Liverpool 61. Arsenal, and as you can see the list, 40,000 is Chelsea. And Everton also will have a bigger stadium, somewhere in the vicinity of 50 to 60,000. So it's this. I get it now. It's not going to be sustainable. Chelsea Football Club will be left behind, and then we're going to have to keep finding all of these new gems that we're trying to find in the market and flip them for profit, because we just won't make enough money through stadium, match day sales. And it impacts even more when you don't make it to the Champions League. So all of these things, they compound. You have to make it to the Champions League so you can have more games and more quality games. Conference League ain't going to cut it. And at the same time, the stadium is too small. So we have to find a solution. This is the projected Premier League stadium capacity is Man United, even at 72,000, right? We just saw 74,000. That's not enough for them. They want to get to 100,000. As you can imagine, how far we'll be left behind. 60,000. We're at 40,000. Newcastle are looking to redevelop their stadium as well at 70,000, and so on and so forth. Everton, as you can see, 52,000. Ultimately, this needs to happen. Now, is this going to impact the transfer budget down the track? Of course it will. We've seen this with Arsenal Football Club when they were going through their stadium redevelopment from Highbury to the Emirates. The period of mediocrity that we saw, it's bound to happen. I'm pretty sure Man United's going to go through it. And Man United's been going through the mediocrity for a long time. We've been going through the mediocrity for a long time as well. You might as well just create the new stadium and financially at least make us stable. Now, what are some of the issues? There are big issues around this. A lot of people are like, what's going on? Why aren't the owners on top of this? We need that new stadium. As I said, this was one of their biggest objectives. Now, this, by the way, this article from the Sun is generally not a publication that I like, but this article outlines a lot of the issues, few issues that I want to talk about in this video and give you guys a bit of a background on it so that we're well informed. First of all, obviously, logistically at Stamford Bridge is a problem, whether it's redevelopment or whether it's creating a new stadium just in and around Stamford Bridge. Secondly is the new, if you want to build a new stadium completely in a new location, that's that also has its obstacles with the Chelsea pitch owners. And this is some of the stuff that we're going to go through. Option one, expand. One suggestion would be to increase the capacity of current Stamford Bridge Stadium. Bowley has previously, let's have a quick read of this. Bowley has previously, in this regard, immediately bankrolling renovation of the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball stadium after buying the franchise in 2012. He wasted little time in making plans to do something similar at Chelsea, but this highlighted portion is very important. But expanding Chelsea's ground is far more complicated for two reasons. Firstly, because of its location in central London in a built-up area full of houses, businesses, shops, and two train lines which run directly past two sides of the ground. So as you can, some of the pictures, I think you can see it over here. No, not here. I think these pictures over here, they're just not loading up. I'm not really sure why, but there's literally two sets of train lines that's going beside Stamford Bridge, which creates a huge issue. So logistically, it's a problem. Furthermore, let's have a look at option number two. So obviously redevelopment is a problem as well. Option number two, rebuild. Another option could be the knock down the current stadium and do a complete rebuild job, just like Tottenham. The Blues paid 80 million in October 2023 for a 1.2 acre adjacent to the current home. Let me see if I can. There we go. Now we've got the images back. All right. So option one was expand. Yeah, but obviously that has its problem. You'll see why that has its problem. There you go. You see Stamford Bridge picture over here. That one. It's got a train line that's going right over there, as you can see my cursor, and there's another train line in behind. So expanding it is not as simple as just saying let's just expand. It's actually quite difficult. And option two, Chelsea bought this red highlighted area over there, this piece of land, 1.3 acres, to basically knock down the current stadium and build a whole new stadium. Even that has its issues because of the rail lines are not going anywhere. You can see there's residential housing in around there. So it's not as simple as simply just building a new stadium. Option number three, new home. The third option is to move away from the current site to the new home elsewhere. The big question is where. Obviously, Earls Court has been dropped. One suggestion was move to Earls Court, just a mile up the road where the exhibition centre stood until its demolition was completed. However, it looks though they may have missed their chance. Grand plans from the Earls Court Development Company include 4,000 new homes, retail and office space, 3 cultural and performance venues. So we've missed the boat. We can't get Earls Court. They've already started development projects to build 4,000 new homes and offices and this, that, the other. So that option is gone as well. But the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. And the problem is, this has been an issue for a long time. This has been a big issue for a long time. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the CPOs. The CPOs, where's that? Because the pitch owners, it's not easy. In order to move also to a different location, the Chelsea pitch owners will have to basically sell their shares. At the moment, the pitch of Stamford Bridge is owned by shareholders, by fans. In order to move away, they'd have to sell, and you need to get apparently 75% of their votings before you can even do something. And I think last time what has happened was under Roman, only 60% was obtained. Here we go. Okay, this is important. Let's look into this. Amid financial turmoil. So how did it all happen in regards to in regards to the CPO. Amid financial turmoil in 1990s, the CPO was formed in 1997, and they purchased the Stamford Bridge freehold turnstiles, pitch, and Chelsea Football Club limited naming rights to ensure the stadium could not be sold to property developers again, something that triggered the issue in the first place. So why was it created? Because of the financial turmoil back in the 1990s. What do the CPO have? Not just the pitch, but they also own the name Chelsea Football Club. So this has been done so that we don't see, Chelsea, that area, that Stamford Bridge area, be ever taken by developers down the track where they want to maybe build houses and so on and so forth. This is why the pitch owners have taken over that area, so that Stamford Bridge is not disturbed, basically, so that we're left with that stadium and no developers can come in and do whatever they want to do with it. They lease both the stadium and the name back to the club. So the pitch owners own the pitch and they lease it back to the club, to Chelsea, on the condition they can continue to play at Stamford Bridge and are determined their beloved club to not leave their original home after 120 years, as we've celebrated recently the 120 years. The CPO organization is split into shares with no one permitted to have more than 100 votes. So if Chelsea did want to move, either permanently or temporarily, the fan group would need to vote with at least 76% approval, or else they would need to find a new name for the football team. Also, because the CPO own the land where Stamford Bridge, they are effectively the landlords, so would need to approve a rebuild on the same site too. Abramovich did controversially try and buy the CPO in 2011 to kickstart a move away from Stamford Bridge, but only received 60% of the votes, meaning the CPO kept the freehold and the relationship with the club fractured. So look, lots of problems, but the bottom line is the new stadium is needed, or else we're going to be left behind. And look, currently, I get it. How can the CPO feel comfortable with the current owners, the way we are running our football club right now, with the squad that is probably overall inadequate to compete at the highest level? So, and then you hear about what Todd Bowley's up to with Vivid Seats and so on and so forth, and the entire model of Chelsea Football Club trying to follow Brighton. There doesn't seem to be that trust from the CPOs that yeah, sure, we are going to sell the 76% to you guys so you guys can do whatever you want with Chelsea Football Club. You need to build the trust, and I don't think our current ownership has really built that trust. How do you build the trust? You got to make proper footballing decisions for the current team. Once the fans can see that the team is being built up to compete at the highest level, correct footballing decisions are being made, then the trust can be provided from the fans to the owners, and then only the pitch owners can start giving. So I understand both sides of the argument here, but the bottom line is we need the new stadium. We need the new stadium. How do we solve this? I don't know. As you guys can see, there's a lot of obstacles. Even if the pitch owners did end up giving up the shares and giving up the name and giving up everything for the owners to do what they need to do, redeveloping or expanding in that same area, at that Stamford Bridge area, is not possible. And then finding a new spot is also difficult as well. So let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts. This is a bit of a dire situation for us. We need a new stadium pronto, or else we're going to be left behind. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, everyone. Take care. See ya. Goodbye.